What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Before the aftermath of Leon's attack had fully dissipated, Celerio made his move.
Insanity hash.
Celerio, embodying both simplicity and strength, followed Benimaru's orders without hesitation. His agreement to cooperate appeared genuine, as he adhered to the principle that a soldier must obey their commander, even if that commander was once an enemy. Despite being on the opposing side, he proved to be surprisingly reliable. Launching his attack in perfect sync with Soei's, Celerio revealed a technique he hadn't displayed against Leon or Soei. Wielding a blade capable of slicing through even the alienium exoskeletons, Celerio's strike was aimed squarely at Milim with deadly intent. His sheer existence value, estimated to exceed 20 million, infused his blade with power surpassing both Soei's and Leon's attacks combined. It was a strike so swift it bordered on absurdity. Yet, the result was underwhelming. The invisible barrier encasing Milim shimmered brilliantly under Celerio's assault, but remained intact. It was a baffling sight. Each of these attacks carried devastating power in their own right, yet Milim seemed unfazed. The synchronized assault of the three fighters had seemingly failed. But there was still 1 second left before Drago Nova would be unleashed. For Benimaru, that was more than enough. His lips curved into a fearless grin, exuding his innate fighting spirit.
Now for the main event.
Though they said nothing aloud, Soei, Leon, and Celerio instinctively followed suit. This had been part of the plan all along. In Benimaru's hand, the red lotus glowed with an intense, fiery radiance. The crimson flames, capable of consuming anything, merged with the dark aura surrounding him.
Prominence acceleration.
The fiery energy erupted, forming what looked like a black sun. Flames of crimson and shadows of jet black combined, morphing into the shape of an oriental dragon. With an almost sentient ferocity, the dragon surged toward Milim, ready to engulf her completely. For the first time, Milim was forced to respond. Benimaru's prominence acceleration had generated tens of millions of energy units in a fleeting instant. The true strength of an attack lies in the interplay between its output and total energy. A vast reserve of energy with weak output lacks potency, while high output with insufficient energy cannot sustain its power. In Benimaru's case, the output was flawless. Though his total energy reserves weren't immense, they were more than sufficient for this maneuver. So how had he managed to unleash such an overwhelmingly powerful move?
Your power has been temporarily augmented by Master.
Wait, what? I didn't notice anything unusual, but seriously, Seal-san, what are you up to now? I mean, it's fine if it benefits everyone, but a little heads up wouldn't hurt.
It was still in the experimental phase, so I intended to inform you after confirming its success.
As always, such a perfectionist. While it might seem like a minor trial to Seal-san, to me, it felt like a pretty big deal. Anyway, my grumbling could wait. For now, I needed some clarity. Based on Seal-san's explanation, the ultimate skill, Void God Azathoth, includes a vast, nearly uncontrollable energy source known as Nihility Collapse. Seal-san had been brainstorming ways to utilize it effectively. As part of this process, it decided to approach some key individuals to propose a collaboration. But why not let me handle this experimentation myself?
Master's safety cannot be compromised.
And with that, my participation was firmly rejected. Sure, it might be safe within the labyrinth, but apparently, even that was unacceptable to Seal-san. As the subject being overly protected, I guess I should appreciate the thoughtfulness. Anyway, the system Seal-san designed involved channeling energy from Nihility Collapse to a select few connected to me via the Soul Corridor. Typical Seal-sensei ingenuity. Technically, it was an advanced application of supply and demand, but combining the ultimate skills, Void God Azathoth, and Harvest King Shub-Niggurath, was something only Seal-sensei could achieve. While still experimental, this process, dubbed the Nihility Supply, was what allowed Benimaru to experience such a dramatic boost in power. The prominence acceleration swirled around Milim, tightening like a serpent aiming to consume her. She momentarily paused to fight it off.
Demon wire bind.
Soei sprang into action, ensnaring Milim with his threads.
100-fold prison.
Leon, exerting his will, created a cage of disintegration. Though Milim's invisible barrier continued to shimmer brilliantly, her Drago Nova remained inactive. This gave us the crucial time we needed. Celerio, meanwhile, lacked specialized binding techniques, so he simply intensified the pressure of his haki. It wasn't perfect, but it was effective enough, though I couldn't help but think he could have done more. With everything now falling into place, it was my turn to act. Thanks to everyone's incredible efforts, we were primed for success. I steeled myself for what was to come, placing my faith in Seal Sensei.
You can count on me.
Relying on a skill in such a critical moment might feel odd, but since Seal-san and I are essentially the same, it was like relying on my own capabilities. Armed with that reassurance, I steadied my resolve and awaited the outcome.
Reset.
The result was seamless. Since Seal-san had thoroughly analyzed the powers of Justice King Michael, it managed to replicate and cancel them out. In an instant, Feldway's Regalia Dominion, which had been controlling Milam, was entirely nullified. The operation had been a success, but there was no time to celebrate. While the command to destroy the sacred tree had been lifted from Milam, the chaos wasn't over yet. If the battle continued in this area, the resulting devastation would wreak havoc on Sarian. Relocating was essential. Neighboring regions like the Republic of Urgracia and Leon's Kingdom, which was across the sea, would also be at risk. To minimize casualties, leading the battle toward the barren lands over the sea seemed the best option. This route would likely impact Dagruel's territory, but avoiding harm to the residents there was critical. For a task like this, Soy was the best choice.
Soy, I'm leading Milam to the barren lands. I need you to ensure that Dagruel's people aren't harmed. Can you handle it?
After explaining the plan briefly, I got the response I expected.
Don't worry. I've stationed a clone in preparation for something like this. You can move forward immediately.
As always, Soy proved to be an unparalleled professional. With him, even the seemingly impossible felt achievable. His reliability shone through yet again, and for once, instead of my usual sarcasm, I was genuinely grateful. Leaving things in his capable hands was a relief, and I set off to execute the plan. But then, an unexpected disaster struck. Time froze. Who in the world decided now was the right moment to pull such a stunt? I mentally cursed whoever was responsible. Worse still, Milam wasn't affected. She moved freely as though nothing had changed. During a time stop, the world's defenses were essentially null, making Milam an even greater threat. A single misstep could spell doom. Fighting her here wasn't an option, and the only feasible destination was the Desert of Death. Though I'd managed to draw Milam's attention and redirect her, the timeline Soy needed for the evacuation was now at risk. Almost every part of the world was populated, and wrecking the ecosystem on such a scale was an issue in itself.
This way, Milam.
I shouted, trying to grab her attention while flying ahead. This situation was beyond frustrating, but there was no other choice. Aerial combat with Milam in this suspended world had begun. Were it not for my ability to withstand time stop, everything would have ended here. Still, fighting Milam under these conditions was exhausting. My strength was draining fast, while hers seemed boundless. In fact, her power was only growing stronger. Even with the most basic calculations, it was obvious I'd tire out first. If things kept up like this, the collapse of the world would be inevitable. Yet I didn't even know who was responsible for stopping time in the first place. Chloe could be ruled out. Guy or Velzard were possibilities, but it didn't add up since they were actively moving around. So, who was behind this mess? Feldway? It would fit his modus operandi as an effective harassment tactic, but why now of all times? Figuring out who did this wasn't just a matter of curiosity, it was crucial to resolving the situation. Just as I was racking my brain.
Rimuru, can you hear me?
Veldora's voice came through the telepathy net. To be more precise, it traveled via the soul corridor. In this suspended world, magicule-based skills were almost entirely useless, making communication nearly impossible, except for those like us. Or perhaps Veldora was just immune to time stop. Typical.
Yes, I hear you.
What nonsense are you up to? Shion and Ruminas are in serious danger. Adelman and the others are struggling, and no one can deal with Dagruel's time stop.
Wait, are you saying Dagruel's the one who stopped time?
Of course. That fool Dagruel is trying to end this battle as quickly as possible.
So, the culprit's identity was finally revealed. It turned out to be Dagruel, currently locked in combat with Shion's group. As I feared, the enemy had utilized spatial transportation to mobilize their entire army. While that wasn't ideal, it did show that Shion's team had pushed Dagruel hard enough to make him take them seriously. The suspended world was especially effective against weaker opponents, making it a powerful tool for eliminating those unable to adapt. I had been subjected to it myself, but I never imagined Dagruel would wield it. Now, there were two pressing issues to address. First, without intervention, Shion and Ruminas were at risk of annihilation. Second, finding a viable method of transportation was critical. During a time stop, spatial transportation was typically impossible, as it relied on manipulating information particles to process the surrounding data. While short-range movement was possible, it was effectively useless since physical movement would be faster. Interfering with information particles to calculate long-distance coordinates took time we didn't have. Even if I rushed to Rubireus now, Dagruel would likely secure complete control of the area before I could intervene. The outcome would be no different if I sent Veldora instead. And since I was already occupied with Milam, Veldora was the only option for this rescue mission.
Veldora, can you head there right away, even if it means you might not arrive in time?
Finally, you're asking for me.
Ideally, I wanted Veldora to remain in charge of the labyrinth's final defense, but this wasn't the moment for such reservations. For now, I needed to focus on finding a solution to our transportation problem.
Rimuru-sama, Ultima is connected to me through her thoughts. We can use her to transmit the coordinates to Veldora-sama.
Oh? Diablo chimed in at just the right moment.
Spatial transportation is feasible even in a suspended world, provided the destination's coordinates are predetermined. Since Ultima is on site, I've synchronized with her senses to gather the necessary information.
Wait, seriously? So, it works because they're linked to me via the Soul Corridor?
Precisely.
Seal delivered the explanation with pride. Long-distance teleportation during a time stop was an outrageous feat, it defied conventional limits. The ability to perceive the suspended world and share this perception through the Soul Corridor was a testament to how extraordinary this connection was. With that capability, nearly anything seemed possible.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. A big thanks to the AnimeKouhai patrons who made this video possible. Chris Guzman, Havox, Speed Saber, Day of Light, John M, John Charles, Faiz Mansour, Dariha Skerte, Jackson Early, Smexy, Carl Stephen Bernadelle, Gareth Hashimoto, Jacob. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.